Hi guys, Captain here. Hope you enjoy. We're gonna do a review of one of the anime episodes of Castelvania, the TV series from Netflix, and my impressions on the first episode. And the first episode begins many years ago, which I don't remember the date right now.
1455.
1455.
Yeah.
At Transylvania, which is home at Dracula's castle. And we see a lot of hundreds of people spiked to death. Or they were spiked. But they are all skeletons. They're all skeletons by now. Anyway, they were all skeletons. And then we see a mysterious woman that's named after she speaks. She wants to go into the castle to learn about more medicine or more knowledge, because she is basically like we should say nurse slash scientist. Yeah, nurse slash scientist. She's a scholar.
She wants to be a doctor.
She wants to be a doctor, yes. She wants to be a doctor. Anyway, she goes into the castle, and we then discover her name, we could say. Her name is Lisa, and she's from a small town nearby Castlevania. For now.
The town name's Lupu.
Lupus.
Lupu.
Uh-huh. The town is named Lupus. Lupu.
Yeah, perfect.
It's not easy to say the name of towns, I'm just saying. And it takes place in the world of... This show takes place in the world of... What was it again? Wallachia. This show takes place in the world of Wallachia, and we will continue to hear that name a lot. So remember that. Wallachia and the towns. Anyway, she goes to the castle, she talks to the supposed scholar or smart person that basically, she wants to learn about to be a doctor and stuff, so she goes to Count Dracula to learn a lot about science and knowledge. And he almost threatens her to be bitten. But she doesn't back down for shit. She doesn't back down for anything. She was a bit afraid, but then she said, "You should know your manners." And also that, he is just wondering why, like, a human being is walking into his castle all of a sudden. To be fair, he lives for 300 years or a lot of years. I don't know exactly how long a vampire can live, but... Wait, they can live very long. Yeah. Wait, they can live for ages, decades, something like that. Anyway, I hope you enjoy. I'm a bit tired in my throat right now, so I'm just gonna drink a bit more water.
So, they agrees to?
He agrees on one condition. She agrees that she will learn him more about humanity, or about more humanity kindness, while he will provide her with technology and science.
Science knowledge.
Psychic knowledge. Or scientific knowledge and stuff. Did I say that right now?
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyway, the point is that also, they have a funny talk about, maybe you should learn to walk as a human, maybe live as a human, don't basically think that all humans need to be put in spikes outside of your door. Which is actually what Lisa actually says. Lisa says actually that. Pretty funny. They say some kind of a funny thing for a vampire, because he actually did that. He was Vladimir the Impaler, so it makes sense. Anyway, hope you enjoy. So, after that, we skip a bit in the time, and we see, they were married also. I forgot to mention that. Lisa, yeah, I said right now. Lisa and Count Dracula.
They married.
And Count Dracula has a ring on his finger. on this finger. I think it's this finger. Ah. This finger here. Thank you. Thank you, Copilot, for showing that. Thank you. Anyway, we skip ahead in time a bit. At least 6 years?
20 years.
20 years. From where they met and made love. In his house.
Yep.
I don't know what went on in there. Anyway.
20 years later...
20 years later, she tries to help a lot of people. And she gets caught by the priests. And the priests call her...
In the town of Tergovist.
In the town of Tergovist. And the priests call her... Witch! You shall be burned at the stake! And that guy that was the priest, with a red cap. He has a red cap on. Basically like my hat, except if it would be smaller, and it's like a cap. Like a small little cap. And it's a red cap, and he acts like Judge Frodo 2.0. I am not even kidding. He actually acts like Judge Frodo from Ringer of Notre Dame. From the Disney Ringer of Notre Dame. Really evil bastard. Anyway, I will still remember that movie though. It's a funny movie. And a very dark one at that. To be fair, it's a very dark one. To be fair. So anyway, she gets burned at the stake, and they talk about, oh, she had science thing, huh? And that was his helper. Or his side priest saying he had science thing. And I've learned a bit of science. I wanted to study a bit of science myself. And the priest is looking at him like this. Do you defy God? Do you? It's like, no, sir. No, of course not. No, of course. I just tested it as a normal little short practice for a moment. Or just a little test. It's just a little test, my priest, my higher priest than me.
My lord.
It's a little test, my lord, not a problem. And he's like, do you defy God? And then we hear that P.S. We also hear that Dracula's wife is saying, don't judge them, don't kill them, and basically that's the famous Jesus line.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. To the T, or to the G, G, Jesus. Yeah. But she has a good point, and then we begin with the opening. The opening sequence is pretty cool. We have the main protagonists. We have the son of the Belmonts. I think it was. In the intro, at least.
And the intro, yeah.
Yeah, in the intro.
Okay.
What was he? What was his name? We see them in the intro. Trevor
Belmont.
Trevor Belmont. The whip slashing. No talking about priest people. And screw with the priest guys, basically. Though to be fair, real priests are kind sometimes. But there are some douchebag priests, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not trying to be an asshole here. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just saying there are different kind of people in the world. Anyway, we see Alucard with a cool action scene, with a cool action opening, and also we see the other protagonists as well. But I'm not gonna mention the name. And quick warning. I need to say a quick warning to every audience that decides to watch this on younger age. This is bloody. You will see blood and guts and a lot of stuff. Secondly, if you're younger than like 5 or 6 or 12, you should at least be 21.
16.
At least be 16. Younger than 16?
Yeah, older.
You need to be at least 16 or 21 or 22.
Okay.
But if you're younger than that, you will not, I repeat, do not watch this. For your own mind and safety, if you want to be so. Also, don't watch it if you could please kindly do that. Okay. Not watch it. Anyway, continue.
Yep.
Anyway, to talk about the priest, why did I say that? But El Belmont basically is the guy that basically don't care about priests. I'm just saying that. It's his personality, not mine.
In the next scene, Dracula...
Okay, the next scene. We need to move along.
Yeah.
Sorry to be stuck on references that are kind of funny. They're kind of funny because the guy is like...
So...
That guy that I talked about, what was his name again? Belmont? Simon Belmont. Trevor. Trevor, the Belmont son, the last Belmont son, he was funny. To be fair, he is funny.
Okay.
I hope they put in the chicken, though. I hope they put in a chicken leg in the next season.
But,
okay, continue.
We talk about Trevor in next chapter.
Next chapter, of course. Okay. But a bit heads up, it's a bit in the opening. Come on, it's opening. You don't need to skip it. Anyway, continue.
Dracula is devastated by...
devastated by his wife. Also, the episode is basically an episode focused on Dracula, more of the part. Sorry for talking about Belmont, but to be fair. Belmont and Dracula are like jelly and butter. You cannot separate them. To be fair, you cannot. Anyway, we begin where Dracula comes back to her home, the home village, and discovers the horrible truth. She is dead. And he's like, can I go to the cathedral or something? I just think about most of the protagonists that like, yeah, the bad guys capture her in a cathedral, capture the supposed love interest of the protagonist to a place that they can rescue them. But in this one, they're a bit more realistic to speak of. Of course, Dracula himself, or Lord Dracula, comes when it's too late, when she is already dead and turned into an ash pile. 2 seconds, I need to drink water. Turned into an ash pile. Anyway, though, we have one of the old ladies of the town that said she was a good and kind nurse and a kind doctor to us. We will respect your wife's wishes. And he says, I want to be a man, but no, I'm not more than a man. Not longer anymore! And he bleeds from his eyes. And he says, humanity from this day has only 1 hour, one year to repent for what they've done to me and my wife. If not, I will send my army of demons.
My last
kind act in this world as a walking type of human being, type of / kind good vampire person. It's basically like Beauty and the Beast, except the Beast becomes more ferocious. Isn't it? Yep. It's basically like the Beast, it's basically like the Beauty and the Beast, except becomes more ferocious, of course. Anyway, she says, I'm sorry. The old lady was like with her family and stuff, son, family members, whatever. And he said, leave this place. If you want to live, leave. The last act of kindness I will give you from my wife is that you will leave with your family. Leave and never turn back. And never see and look upon anymore. And the old lady runs shit fast. Sorry, I'm not saying... I don't want to say bad, but... The old lady that was kind of kind, talked about kind things about Dracula's wife. She basically runs to the hills to her family and like, yeah, we need to go now, SAP, quickly. That's what I'm just imagining what would happen.
Or later.
What do you think?
What?
What do you think about that? Like the old lady from that village that was a good person to the wife of Dracula was like basically saying to her family, leave now, SAP. They got basically the lucky.
She must run.
They got basically the lucky ticket.
She must run.
Yeah. I need to drink a bit more, thank you.
After that, Dracula's son.
Oh, yes, of course. But we forgot to mention one thing. We're gonna see something that's gonna occur in one of the episodes. We see a flower... what is it called again? We see a beautiful green and beautiful flower that's white that the old lady left as a tribute, or as a gift and tribute to the wife. We will see that flower later. Have that in mind. Yep. Anyway, we begin with Alucard, or crap, I said his name. Whatever. The beans are spilled, whatever, fuck it.
Dracula's son.
Dracula's son, Alucard, says to his father, "No, we cannot do that. You cannot judge every human being on the corner of death on your hand." And he says, "We are more or less than monsters than them. We are not supposed to be what he said?
He tells him to...
No. The father actually said, if I remember correctly, hope you enjoy. The father actually said, "We will be less than monsters." And he's like, "Because they took my wife, they took everything I loved. And now they will pay."
So...
And I forgot to mention.
So...
Yeah, the son says, "We cannot judge everyone on the corner. And why can you not find the man or the person responsible for our wife or my mother and your wife's death, and not judge every human on this planet, on Valkia? If you do this act, my father, you will not be redeemed. Because if you send the army of hell, none of us will be redeemed anymore." Yeah, basically none of them will be redeemed, and if you do this choice, my father, you will not step back. What the hell, I'm talking like Mario. I'm a bit tired, so...
Okay.
Yeah, but Alucard basically says, if you do that, you cannot back out. You can basically not back out.
What did Dracula against his son?
He attacked him and slashed him into the shoulder. He slashed him like this. He said, "No more of your insolence! No more of your insolence anymore!" What did he say in the last part when he fought against him? I forgot to mention. Alucard said, "If you will not stop your crusade," we could say it crusade, "your crusade of demons, I will stop you." Basically, he said that also. He said that also in the same conversation. But Dracula cuts him in the stomach. And there we begin actually the intro. We actually begin the intro after that.
Okay.
So I forgot to mention that.
After that, we hear some townspeople talking about some problems, being that they were like the rich people in the church and the rich families. They put all the people of Valkyria, all the people of the city, Wallachia,
all the people of Wallachia, basically into the fire line of dying, of demons or being killed by anyone else. They're basically thinking about that, every peasant and every person of themselves are used as freaking slaves. And they're talking about that they want vengeance upon the rich families that cause all the problems. And then they talk about Alucard, or not Alucard, what was it? Belmont's family, and says they are shit. Sorry, I hope you enjoy, but basically the peasants are talking about their crap. And in the meantime, we hear our other protagonist, or Dracula is technically protagonist, but also not much. For now, I don't know why, but whatever. Anyway, we hear our Belmont ancestor. Trevor. Damn it, I said it again. Wait, I have said it all the time in the video. But anyway, Trevor Belmont hears this and says, "Oh crap. Oh crap, it's me. Shit." I'm like, oh, it's me. He's drunk. He's like, "Oh, I'm drunk." He's both drunk and he is also conscious. I wonder how many sips of beer did he take? I'm just wondering on that. And the peasant talks about him and he's like, "Oh shit, I need to hide my symbol. I need to hide the symbol right now. Like, I'm gonna show you this. Not there. This, for example, this. Basically, he's trying to hide a symbol to not be discovered and like, oh shit. And that's gonna happen in the next episode. But he's like, oh shit, they're talking about me. Isn't it?
Oh shit, they're talking about
Have you talk about what happened when Dracula?
Oh, Dracula unleashed his army. I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to mention. I jumped around here in this review, I know. I'm a bit tired as well, so... What is it with my mouth? I'm tired.
Okay, Dracula...
Dracula unleashed the town... Oh, I forgot. On one of the towns in this episode, on the same episode, he unleashed before, a couple minutes before he talked with his son, or before his son talked to him, he unleashed on the city with the old pope. Wait, did I not talk about the old pope before? I did.
Archbishop.
On the old archbishop. He unleashed the demons of his castle. And he destroyed a lot of people. Including a child and including a lot of guts. And a lot of death. At least some people died quickly than others. And then he said, hunt everyone in Valkyria, in every city and every town. Hunt them till no human exists in this land. Oh, which was the name of the towns again?
Tergovist.
Tergovist was one of the towns. Second town?
Wait. Wait a minute.
He had a lot of towns around. There were 4 towns, at least 4.
Yeah.
There were at least 4 towns.
I remember only one. Resit.
Resit has been Resit is the town where he says, "This will be my perfect grave for my wife." Yeah, that would be his perfect grave for his wife, basically. Anyway, we'll end the episode. His mission is basically to take over the land and basically destroy every human. And we have 4 towns to know. And if you've seen the show, you know it. But there are 4 towns. So he has attacked one of them. And we will know the other 3 towns' fate later. Are there 4 or 5?
It was...
one of them is eliminated.
It was 4. And in the series, we can see only 2.
We only see 2 towns. There are 4 towns mentioned. Should we say that? We're gonna end the episode pretty soon. But there are 4 towns mentioned. But we only have seen 2 towns. The first one is?
Tergovist.
Tergovist. The second one?
Resit.
And Gresit.
Yeah.
These names are hard to pronounce. But anyway, we have the town Gresit as the second town, which we see through the whole show, actually.
Yeah.
But you will know the other stories of the other episode. We see you next time. Ad Wiedersehen. Good night. Sorry for being too long. Bye bye.